everyone. First things first, let's be in our breath. That is where I love to be, in the center, in the presence, in the full extent of the inhale and the exhale, consciously breathing and present here now. Because that's where I can meet you and share with you from the truth of who I am, that center in my heart, that authentic self, and open the pathways to be free to share and free to express that which is the wisdom of the moment. In this moment, I'm here in my hammock and sharing with you from that quiet space, that deep end of the summer turning point. And I'd love to share with you from this deep pinnacle of the equinox, and happy spring to all those in the northern hemisphere, and happy winter to all those here in the southern hemisphere where I'm living. In that equinox, that point of balance where there's equal light and equal dark in the day, equal day and night, felt like that was a great time to share with you another video and another just deeper breath into that new space of balance, harmony, peace, sacredness. And I reckon I'm sharing all this stuff and talking about the breath so much because it does lay down a space for the knowing of my heart to open and be received. So that's my inspiration, I reckon, is because I really would love to be able to share what's coming through in a way that can connect. And we all have that breath. We all breathe. My voice is just, the sounds are full of breath, full of hope that as you meet this new self in the new breath, in the new moment, you can really discover something that wasn't possible before. That is a fresh new choice, a fresh new moment, the here and now. And we know all about there's lots of the power of presence. It's always helpful to actually just do it. So that's what I'm doing today with this video, is I'm just doing it because there's been so much clearing happening to just even come here and share with you. And I'm opening the pathway and the doorways to the story that's coming through my heart. So I'm just going to go for it and share from my heart, and that full deep breath in, carrying all this air and light and spirit and life force from the outside into this form, is that interfacing, that balance point, like the light and the dark in this day, in this equinox day, of taking life in. And you can pause there in the pause of the inhale, pause, and then exhale and pause. And that's one of the practices that I've learned from my teachers and through time, and that really helps to still the mind and still the energy, still the emotional body, still the physical body, and let me stay centered in and ground into the earth. It's fun to remember that the earth is alive and conscious, that as I breathe in, I'm breathing in the life that's coming, through I don't know where from. It could be from some whale who blew out a breath out in the Antarctic Ocean. I'm down here in the southern hemisphere, so more likely than the Arctic Ocean. Well, or not. It could come from anywhere, but it's being exhaled through these trees in their way. They like sort of replicate the trees, and the human are mirrors for each other, like the brachial, the bronchi, and the brachioli, and the alveoli, those little sacs at the end of inside the lungs where we breathe into. And those sacs are so tiny. They are such teeny, beautiful, intelligent membranes. They are so thin that they soak the air molecules right through them in the blood of our circulatory system, swirling, spiraling through our bodies, through our veins and vessels and arteries, because that's what it does. It washes through with the least amount of drag, It's so intelligent how the body functions. The heart pumps, the muscles of the heart are built in a spiral. They wind, and if the heart beats, when the heart beats, it squeezes, like when you squeeze your laundry out, it rings. They contract in a spiral. They wring the blood out, and the blood pours through those vessels in a spiral motion, which creates the least amount of shear, where after, 56 years of beating and pushing blood around the body at a great volume every minute. And I'll put in I don't remember the number exactly at this moment. I'd like to be accurate, so I'll put that in the comments. But it's so fun to feel into all the volumes of blood, the liters and liters of quarts and quarts of blood pouring through that heart, pouring out to the body every moment, soaking life in from the outside through the lungs, through the little trees that are inside of us. And these trees are the lungs of the planet out here. They exhale, and man, we inhale and let that life soak in. And that life soaking in is picked up by that hemoglobin, that substance in the red blood cells, makes them red. That beautiful heme, which is the word for iron, makes that color of the blood, and it brings those molecules into the bloodstream across those little membranes, which are so beautiful. When you kind of feel into them and tune into how that engineering job has been made, well, divine design. There's nothing else for it. It's just divine design. It's so intelligent, so effective, and so useful. Physically, mentally, calms the mind, calms us, calms the emotions. Emotionally, it's so useful, and it's so useful spiritually to take life in, turn it into life, more life, and love, more love, and then radiate it out. And it radiates out in this body mind, this animation of life through this form. It's pretty cool. And there's just no end to how interesting that is, and how fabulous, and how much more we can learn about helping this body, partnering with this beautiful instrument to be more efficient and effective, like unique and amazing structure, our bodies. So I'm appreciating the lungs today. I won't go into all of the joy that I have with the human anatomy's intelligence and design. It's pretty fun. And pretty vulnerable as well. And let's breathe and appreciate that this heart massaging the lungs, these little trees, blowing, breathing, opening, receiving, giving freely, letting go, inhalation, expiration, and letting go of all the toxins and all. It's just such a shedding of what we don't need, letting go of what we don't need. And that's a great thing to do today on the equinox and every day, because every day we can let that breathing in and breathing out help us to restore the balance. Stay right here, to come right here, and to breathe in and know where I am. I'm right here. And that's one of my fun mantras to say to myself and to encourage when I'm working with clients or with the new babies that come in. Just say, just be right here. Just right here. I'm right here. And that's a great feeling when you look in the mirror and you can just go, I'm right here for you. It's a big practice, that one. So breathing and letting that really come in. It's just being right here. So with that, and with the breathing of the lungs of the planet, exhaling and me inhaling, and then exhaling and letting us share that life force. Well, with that, I just want to say thank you, and I'm here, and I'm going to share some more stories about that first breath that we took in this life, about being present and being here now, and how this presence can really wrap around all of those experiences that we've had and keep breathing balance into all of that, the whole timeline. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to explore some of those journeys with really being present for that, when we were born moment and those moments after. Because the first time we came into the world and had our first breaths, it's just such an imprint, such an impact, and it's there's a lot of practices of rebirthing, and there's all these turning point moments throughout our lives, and it's a wonderful practice, and it's a wonderful opportunity when we're really present and in meditation or just in your imagination, imagining being the one that received you into the world, like you were the first hands to hold that baby, that infant that we were coming out, hello, wrapped up in a little blanket or towel, and just greeting that self anew and saying hello, and I made it, look, I'm here, I survived, I'm here, and I'm ready to wrap you up in as much love as you need. And whatever you need, I'm going to be here and stand by you. And we're the future self of that little one. So I loved to share that practice of calm assurance to the newborn self, and that vulnerability, that naked before, life happening. And because there's so much, especially if you're alive now, in the last 100 years, there's a lot of birth trauma, and there's a lot of intensity around birth, a lot of judgment and bias, a lot of fear. So I'd love to support the planet and all her human beings to harmonize and heal some of that intensity that's around birth and lighten up the birth rooms of the world. So I would love to invite everyone on this planet to really wrap up themselves, giving that newborn baby a welcome and a gratitude, and to remind them who they are, even if you don't remember who you are yet. Knowing how you would like to be greeted into this world, knowing what we know now, and with kindness and care and presence and acknowledgement, that each newborn being, and that's the same as each newborn every morning when the sun rises, being has great potential for great things and for great love to come through. So that's what I wanted to share today, and I would love to melt into the moment, wrap up those newborn babies, just traveling into ourselves and feeling into what that would be like to have come into the world in the greatest welcome that we could. And it might have happened for you that you had the best welcome you could imagine, and I'm inviting us to be the presence in the room as the future self of that little one, to tell them what you want to tell them. Look at them, observe them, see the light coming through. Help them remember to bring their light here and to just sink in and be present and ground and anchor and be here in a big, big peace breath. It's okay. Thanks for coming. Welcome. We need you here, and bring all you got, because it's a wild world, but we make it. We made it to here, so let's go. That kind of encouraging, celebrating, so happy that you're here kind of welcome, which is what I do when I am at a birth and privileged enough to meet a newborn or in their first day. So that's some of the fun stuff that I get to do in my life, and I want to share that with everyone, and spread that wide, that practice of really holding, and you can meditate with that practice of just loving self and welcoming that self as a newborn, soaking them into your heart. It's like, the magic of a newborn is pretty potent. The love and the purity and the preciousness of newborns can be so vulnerable, so new, and sometimes really, really present, bright. And you see that brightness coming through, sometimes very strongly. And I just like to nurture that light, and like that Santana song, all the children, leave your lights on, keep your lights on, leave your lights on. So yeah, just keep bringing that love and light to that little self and see what happens. All right, that's enough about that. Let's keep on shining. And that's a process that you can take into your own creative heart and expand upon and shine on. And happy equinox. Let's soak in that balance. Yeah. Thank you. I feel you. I'm right here. Thank you. And let's shine on.